The basic unit of life. Cell. A cell is the smallest living part of an organism that carries out essential functions. Imagine trying to build a complex structure, like a skyscraper, using only small, uniform blocks. Just as each block serves as a fundamental piece that contributes to the entire building's stability and function, a cell serves as the basic unit of life, forming the foundation of all living organisms. In this analogy, each block represents a cell, where the skyscraper is akin to an organism. Just as removing or altering blocks can affect the building's integrity, the health and function of cells directly impact the overall organism's well-being. Cells make up all organisms, are the basic units of life, and come from other cells. Cell theory. Cell theory states that all living things are made of cells, which are the fundamental units of life, and new cells are produced from existing cells. Imagine trying to build a house using only Lego bricks. Each Lego brick represents a cell, the basic building blocks that come together to form the structure of the entire house, much like how cells make up all organisms and are the basic units of life. Just as you can't create new Lego bricks out of thin air and must use existing ones to build your house, new cells arise from the division of pre-existing cells, maintaining the continuity and integrity of living organisms. A cell that has a membrane and nucleus. Eukaryote. A eukaryote is an organism whose cells have a nucleus enclosed within a membrane. Imagine trying to organize your kitchen, where everything, from your spices to your cooking utensils, is scattered all over the place. Just like how you need cabinets and drawers to neatly store and separate your kitchen items, a eukaryotic cell uses membranes to compartmentalize its internal components, including its nucleus, which acts like a central storage hub. The cabinets and drawers in your kitchen are like the cell membranes, creating distinct spaces for different items, while the nucleus is like a special locked drawer where important recipes are safely kept, ensuring everything is organized and functional. The control center of a cell. Nucleus. The nucleus is like the brain of the cell, directing all its activities and storing genetic information. Imagine trying to cook a meal without a recipe or any guidance on what ingredients to use. Just like a recipe provides the essential instructions to create a dish, the nucleus of a cell serves as the control center, containing the DNA that guides all cellular activities. In this analogy, the DNA within the nucleus acts like the recipe, directing the cell on how to function and what proteins to produce, ensuring everything runs smoothly, just as a recipe ensures a successful meal. A structure in a cell's cytoplasm specialized to perform a cell without a nucleus and other organelles like bacteria. Prokaryote. A prokaryote is a simple, single-celled organism that lacks a nucleus. Imagine trying to organize a large room full of various items without any shelves, drawers, or containers to help separate them. This is similar to how prokaryotic cells, like bacteria, function without a nucleus or other membrane-bound organelles to compartmentalize their internal components. Just as you'd need to manage the room by organizing items directly on the floor rather than using designated storage areas, prokaryotes have all their cellular activities, that like DNA functions and metabolic processes, occurring freely within the cytoplasm without the separation or specialization provided by organelles. A model of the cell membrane showing molecules in constant motion. Fluid mosaic model. This model describes the cell membrane as a flexible layer with proteins embedded in or attached to a sea of lipids, allowing movement and fluidity. Imagine standing in a crowded shopping mall where people are constantly moving around, some browsing, others rushing to their destinations, and a few stopping to chat. This scenario is similar to the fluid mosaic model of the cell membrane, where various molecules such as proteins and lipids move around within the membrane's structure. Just as shoppers in a mall create a dynamic environment with constant motion and interaction, the cell membrane's molecules shift and drift, maintaining the membrane's flexible yet organized nature, allowing it to function effectively. A lipid that contains phosphorus, it makes up cell membranes. Phospholipid. A phospholipid is a special type of fat that forms the protective outer layer of cells. Imagine trying to pack a suitcase efficiently for a trip, ensuring everything fits neatly and securely. This is similar to how phospholipids organize themselves to form cell membranes, creating a stable barrier that houses and protects the cell's contents. Just like clothes are arranged strategically in a suitcase to maximize space and keep items in place, phospholipids align in a bilayer with their hydrophilic heads facing outward and hydrophobic tails tucked inward, forming a protective yet flexible membrane structure around the cell. The ability of cell membranes to allow some, but not all substances to pass through selective permeability. Selective permeability means that a cell membrane controls which substances can enter or leave the cell. Imagine trying to control who enters your exclusive party by using a guest list. Just as you only allow certain people who are on the list to enter the party, a cell membrane selectively allows certain substances to pass through while blocking others. In this analogy, the party is like the inside of the cell. The guest list is similar to the selective permeability of the cell membrane. And the guests who are allowed in represent the specific molecules that can enter the cell. The rigid structure around a plant cell that supports and protects it. Cell wall. A cell wall is like a sturdy jacket for plant cells that keeps them in shape and safe. Imagine trying to carry a delicate, overflowing grocery bag without it tearing. Just like the sturdy paper bag that holds and protects your groceries from spilling everywhere, a plant's cell wall serves a similar purpose for the cell. The cell wall acts like the strong paper bag, providing the necessary support and protection to maintain the shape and integrity of the plant cell, ensuring everything inside stays safely in place. The plant organelle that uses light energy to make food. Chloroplast. Chloroplasts are parts of plant cells where photosynthesis happens, turning sunlight into food. Imagine trying to charge your phone when you're out and about, but you can't find an outlet anywhere. This situation is similar to how plants need to convert sunlight into energy when there's no ready-made food around. Just like you rely on a solar power bank to harness sunlight and charge your device, chloroplasts in plant cells capture light energy to produce food in the form of glucose. In this analogy, your phone is like the plant needing energy. The solar power bank is the chloroplast, and the sunlight is the energy source both rely on to keep functioning. A jelly-like material in a cell, cytoplasm. Cytoplasm is the fluid inside a cell that holds the organelles and helps transport materials. Imagine trying to make a fruit salad, but you need a bowl to hold all the chopped fruits together. The cytoplasm in a cell acts much like that bowl, providing a space to contain and support the cell's components. Just as the bowl keeps your fruit pieces from scattering all over the table, the cytoplasm's jelly-like material holds the organelles in place within the cell, allowing them to function together effectively. The protein network that controls the cell's shape and movement. Cytoskeleton. The cytoskeleton is a structure inside cells that helps maintain their shape and aids in movement. Imagine trying to set up a tent on a camping trip, where the fabric needs to be supported by poles to keep its shape and withstand any wind. The tent poles provide structure and support, allowing the tent to maintain its form and be functional, much like how the cytoskeleton maintains the cell's shape and facilitates movement. In this analogy, the poles are like the proteins in the cytoskeleton, which create a network that defines the cell's shape and helps it move, just as the poles ensure the tent is stable and can be relocated when needed. The membranes in a cell's cytoplasm that move proteins. Endoplasmic reticulum, it is like a factory inside the cell that helps produce and transport proteins and fats. Imagine trying to navigate through a crowded airport with your luggage to catch a connecting flight. The endoplasmic reticulum, in a cell functions like the airport's network of moving walkways, helping passengers, proteins, efficiently reach their gates, destinations within the cell. Just as these walkways streamline the process of moving people and their bags through the bustling terminal, the ER's membranes facilitate the transport and processing of proteins within the cell, ensuring they get to the right place at the right time. A long, tail-like structure that helps a cell to move. Flagellum. A flagellum is a whip-like appendage that enables cells like sperm and bacteria to swim. Imagine trying to navigate a canoe across a lake without a paddle. Just like how using a paddle helps propel and steer the canoe through the water, a flagellum acts as a cell's tool for movement, allowing it to swim through its environment. In this analogy, the flagellum is the paddle, the cell is the canoe, and the water is the cell's surrounding environment, illustrating how the flagellum's tail-like structure enables the cell to move efficiently and purposefully. The cell structure that packages materials for transport within and out of the cell Golgi body. The Golgi body is like the cell's post office, where proteins and lipids are sorted and sent to their destinations. Imagine organizing a surprise party and needing to wrap gifts for each guest. Just like how you carefully wrap and label each gift to ensure it reaches the right person, the Golgi body in a cell packages proteins and other materials, ensuring they are correctly sorted and sent to their specific destinations. In this analogy, the gifts are like proteins. The wrapping is akin to the Golgi body's packaging process, and the guests represent the various parts of the cell or outside the cell where these proteins need to be delivered. A cell organelle that contains digestive enzymes. Lysosome. Lysosomes are small structures in cells that break down waste and unwanted material using enzymes. Imagine your kitchen after a big dinner party, filled with dirty dishes, leftover food, and spills everywhere. Just like you would use a dishwasher and cleaning supplies to break down and clean up the mess, a lysosome in a cell uses its digestive enzymes to break down waste materials and cellular debris. In this analogy, the lysosome is like your kitchen's cleaning crew, with the digestive enzymes acting as the soap and scrubbers that efficiently manage and dispose of unwanted materials, keeping the cell clean and functional. The cell organelle that releases energy from food molecules. Mitochondrion. The mitochondrion is the power center of the cell, converting food into energy the cell can use. Imagine trying to power your smartphone, but all you have is a bulky car battery. Just as you need a way to convert the energy stored in that car battery into a form that your smartphone can use, cells need mitochondria to convert the energy in food molecules into a usable form. The mitochondrion acts like an adapter, transforming the chemical energy in food into ATP, which is like the smartphone's battery, providing the immediate and usable energy needed for cellular functions. The organelle that produces ribosomes in eukaryotic cells, it is inside the nucleus, nucleolus. The nucleolus is a part of the cell that makes tiny machines called ribosomes, which help build proteins. Imagine trying to bake a cake, but you first need to gather all the ingredients from different places in your kitchen. The nucleolus is like your kitchen counter, where you bring together ingredients to mix and prepare the batter that eventually becomes the cake, similar to how it gathers materials to produce ribosomes. Just as the counter centralizes ingredients to create something essential, the cake, the nucleolus centralizes the components needed to assemble ribosomes, which are crucial for protein synthesis in the cell. A small cell structure that builds proteins. Ribosome. A ribosome is a tiny machine inside cells that links together amino acids to make proteins. Imagine trying to assemble a piece of furniture from a box filled with various parts and screws. Just as you need instructions and tools to piece it all together into a functional chair or table, a ribosome in a cell uses genetic instructions, messenger RNA, and materials, amino acids, to construct proteins. The ribosome acts like both the instruction manual and the toolkit, methodically reading the assembly guide, the RNA, and putting together the furniture, proteins, ensuring each piece fits perfectly to create a functional structure within the cell. The cell organelle that stores materials vacuole. A vacuole is a storage compartment inside cells that holds water, nutrients, and waste. Imagine trying to find a place to store all the extra groceries you bought on sale. Just like you need a pantry to keep these items organized and accessible, a cell uses a vacuole to store materials such as nutrients, waste products, and other essential substances. In this analogy, the pantry represents the vacuole, the groceries are the materials stored, and the house is the cell, highlighting how both systems manage storage to maintain organization and efficiency. Cell organelles made of microtubules. Centriole. A centriole is a small structure that helps cells divide properly. Imagine trying to organize a busy intersection where multiple roads converge and traffic needs to flow smoothly in various directions. This is similar to how centrioles function in a cell by organizing microtubules to ensure the cell's internal traffic moves efficiently during cell division. Just as traffic signals and road layouts guide vehicles to prevent chaos, centrioles act as organizational hubs made of microtubules, directing the formation and positioning of the spindle fibers that separate chromosomes, ensuring everything moves where it needs to go within the cell. The movement of materials through the cell membrane using energy. Active transport. Active transport is when cells use energy to move substances against their natural flow through the membrane. Imagine trying to push a heavy shopping cart uphill at the grocery store parking lot. Just as you need to exert effort and energy to move the cart against gravity, cells use energy to transport materials across their membranes against a concentration gradient. In this analogy, the shopping cart is like the materials being moved. The hill represents the cell membrane, and the energy you exert is similar to the energy cells use during active transport to move substances from a lower to a higher concentration. The movement of molecules from an area of higher density to an area of lower density. Diffusion. It is a process where particles spread out evenly in a space from where there are more of them to where there are fewer. Imagine you're at a crowded party, trying to move from a packed room to a quieter space. Just as you naturally drift towards the less crowded area to find more space and comfort, molecules in diffusion move from regions of high density to areas of lower density. In this analogy, the crowded room represents a high concentration of molecules, and the quieter space symbolizes a region of lower concentration, illustrating how molecules spread out to achieve balance and ease, much like how you seek comfort in a less crowded area. A cell taking in a substance by surrounding it with its cell membrane. Endocytosis. It's a process where cells engulf material from their surroundings to bring it inside. Imagine you're trying to bring a large, awkwardly shaped piece of furniture into your house through the front door. Just like you have to wrap your arms around the furniture to maneuver it through the door, a cell takes in a substance by wrapping its cell membrane around it to bring it inside. In this analogy, your arms are like the cell membrane. The furniture is the substance, and your house is the cell, highlighting how endocytosis involves enclosing and bringing in external materials. The process by which a cell removes materials through its vesicle is called exocytosis. Exocytosis is when a cell releases substances outside by fusing a vesicle with the cell membrane. Imagine trying to get rid of a big bag of trash from your house. Just like how you take that trash bag to the curb for pickup, a cell uses exocytosis to move waste materials out of itself. In this analogy, your house is like the cell. The trash bag is like the vesicle, and taking it to the curb is comparable to the cell's vesicle merging with the cell membrane to release its contents outside. The transport of materials across the cell membrane by transport proteins. Facilitated diffusion. Facilitated diffusion is a process where transport proteins help move substances across a cell membrane without using energy. Imagine you're at a crowded concert trying to get to the VIP section, but the only way through is with the help of a security guard. This situation is similar to facilitated diffusion, where molecules move across a cell membrane with the assistance of transport proteins. Just as the security guard helps you navigate through the crowd to reach the exclusive area, transport proteins assist specific molecules in crossing the cell membrane, ensuring they get to their destination efficiently amidst the packed environment. The diffusion of water through a semi-permeable membrane. Osmosis. Osmosis is when water moves from an area with less stuff dissolved in it to more stuff until things are balanced. Imagine you're at a crowded party and you're trying to move from the packed living room to a less crowded kitchen to get some fresh air. This situation is similar to osmosis, where water moves from an area of high concentration to an area of low concentration through a semi-permeable membrane. Just like you moving to a less crowded area for comfort, water molecules move through the membrane to balance concentrations on either side, achieving equilibrium in the process. The movement of materials through a cell membrane without the use of energy. Passive transport. It is how particles move naturally from high to low concentration in cells without energy. Imagine standing at a crowded concert, trying to move closer to the stage without pushing or forcing your way through. Just like how you slowly make your way forward by simply following the flow of the crowd, passive transport involves materials moving through a cell membrane naturally, without any extra effort or energy. In this scenario, the crowd represents molecules. The concert venue is like the cell, and your gentle drift toward the stage is akin to the effortless movement of molecules across the cell membrane, driven by concentration differences rather than force. A group of similar cells working together to perform the same function. Tissue. Tissue is like a team of cells doing the same job to help the body work properly. Imagine trying to bake a batch of cookies, but realizing you only have one type of ingredient. This situation is similar to how tissues work in the body, where a single type of cell comes together to perform a specific function, just like you need all the same kind of ingredients working together to make a batch of cookies. In this analogy, the similar cells that form a tissue are like the same ingredient, such as flour or sugar, working together to achieve the goal of creating delicious cookies, just as tissues work to perform vital functions in the body. the cell boundary that controls what enters and leaves the cell-cell membrane. The cell membrane is a thin, flexible layer that surrounds the cell and acts as a gatekeeper to protect and organize the cell's content. Imagine you're hosting a party at your house and you want to ensure only your invited guests can enter while keeping out gatecrashers. This scenario is similar to how a cell membrane functions, as it selectively allows certain substances to enter or exit the cell while blocking others. Just like you might have a guest list and a door person to regulate who comes into your party, the cell membrane acts as a boundary with bouncers, proteins, that manage what can pass through, ensuring the cell maintains its environment and functions properly. A double-layered sheet of phospholipids that makes up a cell membrane. Phospholipid bilayer. It's like a protective skin for cells, letting some substances in and out while keeping others out. Imagine trying to keep a sandwich from getting soggy when you pack it for lunch. The way you might wrap the sandwich in a layer of wax paper and then a plastic bag is similar to how a cell uses a phospholipid bilayer to protect itself. Just as the wax paper and plastic bag create a barrier that keeps moisture out and freshness in, the double-layered sheet of phospholipids forms a selective barrier around the cell, controlling what enters and exits while maintaining the cell's internal environment. A solution with a higher solute concentration than that of cells in that solution. Hypertonic solution. In simple terms, a hypertonic solution will cause cells to lose water and shrink because it has more dissolved substances than inside the cells. Imagine trying to fit into a crowded subway train during rush hour, where there's barely any space to breathe. In a similar way, a hypertonic solution is like that packed train, filled with more solute particles than the less crowded environment inside the cells. Just as the pressure inside the train pushes people out to make room, the higher solute concentration in a hypertonic solution causes water to move out of the cells, attempting to balance the concentration difference, much like people leaving the train to relieve the crowding. A solution with a lower solute concentration than that of cells in that solution. Hypotonic solution. A hypotonic solution causes cells to swell as water enters through osmosis. Imagine you're at a crowded party, but with plenty of empty space outside on the patio. Everyone wants to spread out to be more comfortable. This situation is similar to how cells behave in a hypotonic solution, where the concentration of solutes inside the cell is higher than outside, so water flows into the cell to balance things out. Just as partygoers move to the open patio to relieve the cramped conditions inside, water moves into the cell in a hypotonic solution to equalize the concentration difference, making the cell swell. A solution with the same solute concentration as the cells it contains. Isotonic solution. An isotonic solution is one where the cell and the surrounding solution have equal concentrations of solutes, preventing water movement that would cause the cell to shrink or swell. Imagine trying to balance the amount of air in your car tires so that they match the pressure recommended by the manufacturer. Just like how your car tires need the right air pressure to ensure smooth driving, an isotonic solution has the same solute concentration as the cells it contains, ensuring that cells maintain their shape and function. In this analogy, the air pressure in your tires represents the solute concentration, while the recommended pressure by the manufacturer is akin to the ideal solute concentration within the cells, both needing to match to maintain optimal performance.